What's up, everybody? Lil Sleep stream part 2. Making sure everything is all good. Excuse me. Sweet. All right. Make sure everything's working. I think we're good. What's up, everybody? Just gonna be doing another beat. Gonna be making another song, a beat, whatever. Just thought we'd hang out. So, today we're just gonna start with the sample packs I've downloaded from Waves. I realized my last stream, I did not explain like moving the files over because it is as easy as just dragging and dropping them. But if it's a zip file, you can't do that. So, want to make sure you guys know that if it's zip file, you have to save it, extract it as a normal file, and then you'll be able to just drag and drop right into FL Studio. Well, what's up, everybody? Hope everyone's having a great day. It's Monday, stream number 2. Hope it's gonna be a great day for everybody, and hope everyone's doing good. What's up, Sleep? Hey, what's up, guys? What's up, Shadow? What's up, Juan? How you doing, guys? There's no sound yet. Hey, what's up, Chili? Well, let me know if this is too loud enough. Hey, what's up, Mr. Stein? What's up, Rusty? Alright, so this was one of the sample packs I downloaded. We got 3 different ones. This one's pretty good vibe. Hey, I'm doing good, Rusty. How you been? Just trying out the streaming. It's going pretty good so far. It's a lot, so taking it slowly. Just chilling. Got girlfriend over, watching movies and stuff. Hey, sounds like a good Monday, Shadow. This one's a pretty good vibe. I like this guitar. Also have a little bit different of a vibe. I kind of forgot what all these samples sound like, so I'm putting them all on one track to hear what they all sound like. Wow, okay. This one's got a lot of samples. A lot of stems. Yeah, I like the experimental beats too. Especially with some hard bass in there. I agree. But pretty much, if you did watch the last stream, if not, go check it out. I got a VOD channel as well on YouTube, Lil Sleep Live. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, you can go check it out now. That was a cool vibe. I have no idea what this one sounds like. It's almost like so much to look at. Oh man. Yeah, that one's cool, but I think I like the other two more. Not as much energy. Okay. That one could go to a cool hard trap beat. Sweet, good volume. Sweet. Thanks for letting me know. This song, almost like alternative indie type vibe. I'm trying to think. I think first I am gonna do this beat. I think I like the almost simplicity of it, but that high melody in there too is very, very nice. Now I got all these lines over here from all the tracks I've added. Nice little trick. As you go over here, purge unused audio clips, and cleans it right up. I use that for when I'm recording my vocals and you have a bunch that you delete and you don't use anymore. Very, very useful. So, this one, go find what the BPM is. 102. So now you can really see that it's 3 4-bar loops, which is different to some of the other ones, which would be 8-bar loops. Yeah, I feel that, Shadow. The free for profit ones are always kind of risky. I've had some issues with those type of beats before. My song Suspect actually, it was a royalty free sample, but I ended up posting the YouTube video and my lyric videos and everything, but I guess that sample was copyrighted by some music group or industry or some people, so now I don't have any, can't monetize that video on YouTube, which kind of sucks, but I don't have any problems on Spotify or anything like that, so. The great thing is too, if you change it enough, it also turns it into another sample, and that's about people like resample other people's songs and stuff like that, but you gotta follow like the guidelines. Gonna chop this one up. Sounds like got a pretty good vibe. Yeah, these samples, I feel like Waves is a really good website. You do have to pay a subscription for it, but $4 a month for samples that you can use that are more samples than you could ever use, I think it's very worth it. So you can see this one says main guitar and this one's master. So this master is the entire sample, like all the stems compressed into one like pancake pretty much. So if you just downloaded it off of Waves as a WAV file, you'll probably just get this master, versus I like to get the stems of everything, so you get these parts. It sounds good, but I like tweaking it a little bit myself. So I always like to have the main guitar track as just preference up on the top. Kind of go from in like importance level, like kind of down, and then the beat level, like same type of thing. Does anyone have any crazy or fun plans for 2026? Trying to think of something, some place that me and my girlfriend Shy can go to. We got some traveling we want to do this year. No. Oh, Oregon. Definitely wanted to go down to Oregon. See some green down there. Guitar samples are the best. Yeah, synths are nice. I need to get a nice pack for synths because I just kind of have the stock FL Studio ones. Yeah, Japan. Definitely Japan. But the stock ones, they're good, but, you know, I'm sure I could find better ones online somewhere if I looked. Everything feels so far to the left. I opened up FL Studio and everything was reorganized. So I had to kind of refit it. Seems a little odd, but like, why is that up in the corner? But yeah, I always like to. These come with stock channels of different instruments. I always like to get rid of those. You can use them; they are okay, but if you have your own sounds, you know. You gotta want to make sure you have your main guitar set to. Oh, see how there's two that say guitar? That's because one of them is the master. You can do that same trick I said earlier to purge it, and it'll be gone. Or you can use the ones that are highlighted. So this is gonna be the first track, probably second track, and third track. Kind of goes by preference if you want to go first to edit the beat and make it sound good, or like the background of the beat, like the guitar and the instruments, or you can make the whole beat and then go fine tune everything. But I wanted to get some great vocals, but my setup isn't built for that. Yeah, I feel that. You can try to look on YouTube and find different ways to record the vocal styles that you want. Because I know plenty of times I've been on YouTube and searched up how to. Like when I first started, I didn't really understand how to mix my vocals. I searched up how to make my vocals sound like Suicide Boys or stuff like that. Like you find a sound you like and kind of try to base it like that. But then the great thing is you get to tweak it how you want into your voice, and it makes it a lot more unique and fun. Just basic, I'm gonna put a band limiter. Yeah, band limiter. I think it's called. Where I cut the frequencies past these points because I just like to kind of hear the better ones. The high ends and the low ends, when they're too high or too low, I feel like it muddies it out. Also, everything I do is to preference for me. So I don't have any sound. Hey, thank you. I hope you have a great year as well. Hey, what's up, Ghosty? Got all the homies up in here. We finally got some snow where I'm at. We haven't gotten any snow this whole winter. I guess it's only been since December, but finally we got our first bit of snow. It's been feeling nice. It's about to go away. We'll probably not get any more until the end of February. Basically right now I'm trying to pinpoint what sounds that I like in it. If you want a fun way you can kind of like really up something and you can hear like the high. Like sometimes you can really pinpoint high sounds and get almost like an older sound. But I'm just gonna do a simple high and low end. I have a bad habit of doing things very similar to like one beat to the next beat, but I'm trying to get better at doing different things, and you know, the same thing I might do for a song, I'll switch it up a little bit. Because, you know, you gotta have change and make stuff fancy. So now I'm gonna add a sound godizer. Yeah, if you go for the Suicide Boys type stuff, definitely find something. glad it's not just here where I'm at. Everyone's getting the same kind of thing. So, got this sound geyser on it. I think it sounds alright. Should probably put that. Yeah. I like how it sounds. But I think maybe some reverb on there. Get a little more full sounding. I was thinking, since this is a slower type beat, it would be kind of good for a slower, hard, like bass style. Honestly, start doing that. I need to go on a hunt for some more snares. Snare packs. They got some decent ones, but need to spice it up, get some new things in there. But probably going for a slower, more drawn out beat rather than like a more fast-paced trap style. Yeah, exactly. Mellow deeper. By loops, do you mean like, what do you mean by do I do my hi-hats and claps one at a time? Or usually, I kind of, you can kind of see everything's in a different place than when I used to. So, pretty much, gotta get a snare. I like to do like a simple snare pattern. I do a bass pattern right here, and then I split everything out from the pattern. Gosh, this is so weird. This whole bar usually is right here. So this whole time I've been used to going up here, so now I have to go over here. Probably messed with some settings. Oh shit. That's rad. You have to send that to me in the DM so I can check it out. Where do you place them? I do usually, I guess, loop them, but I do have separate parts of the... Like I have one loop that I'll use for like probably slower parts, and I might use that once or twice, and then like a more upbeat loop that I'll use for the second half maybe, or like the chorus, and maybe go back to the slower bit for the pre-chorus. See, doing it the way that I do it, sometimes I mess up when you get on the wrong spot. Just to do a bass, I do a fill. So the two-step one is kind of the faster one, and then 4 is a little bit of a slower. Habit sometimes. Yeah, I feel that my brother, Real Slick, he's really good at doing like on time with his with his keyboard. He does his like hi-hats on hand. could probably do that if it took more time, but I could always find the sounds that I really like by doing it this way. And if I ever wasn't able to, then I would do it his way, but each their own. Now it's got a little more of a vibe in there. So the last beat was definitely a 4 or an 8 bar like loop pattern. This one's a 4. So you kind of, each song kind of changes. I'm looking forward to it, Ghosty. Shadow. Yeah, I'm liking this beat. I think I'm gonna put some 808s on here. See what we can do. Hopefully it's not too loud. But the simplest way I do it to start is put my 808s on the same pattern as the kick. Is that? Just my speakers there. This is coming in really bassy for my speaker or my headphones. I want to make sure it wasn't killing your guys' ears. TikTok's yeah, that's a tough one. I wish I liked posting on TikTok more, because that was the main reason I blew up at the start of 2021. But it's not what it used to be, sadly. At least from a musician standpoint, from posting to promote your own music. It's probably better for memes and shit. So this is alright. Not the biggest fan of the 808, but hey, what's up? Amy, you're able to talk now. Alright, so basically split the channel, and that makes it so that one project I had split into all the separate instruments I had on that one project. So now I got pretty much the cornerstone and the cherry, which are the different kicks, the different Andromeda hi-hats, and my snare and the 808. I feel that. Do you think for the 808s, goes to war? That's what I'll call you. I don't want to butcher your first name. But yeah, so basically right now these 808s I haven't. Sometimes to help them fit the track a little better. See, like this 808 doesn't really fit the best, to be honest. I'll see if I have any other 808s that might. Maybe this one. It's definitely a lot more subtle, but oh, okay, but like present. Do you think I like this 808 a little bit more? That's See, now it's kind of like I have the bass instruments kind of laid out and the beat, but I don't have the beat layout. So from here, I'd probably take my slower bits, the slower Andromeda hi-hat, kicks, and the faster hi-hat, and a snare, pull them all to their areas. Probably end up moving this. Okay. Well, we'll just keep those together and move them back to when the chorus happens. And then, so that button I'm pressing when I do that is I select with the selection button tool, and then Control E, or I can do Control A, but that selects everything on the project, and I don't want to select everything right now. So yeah. So give it a listen, see how it flows into it. I might have to move. I think this is okay for a slower intro. Faster pace. So I turned it from a 4-bar into an 8-bar loop. That's kind of just a preference thing. You don't need to at all. You can do 4 bars to like a 4-bar pre-chorus to 4-bar chorus to like whatever. But I personally like the 8-bar chorus. I feel like it gives you a good amount of time to tell whatever story you're trying to do. I'm trying to do a lo-fi song. That's a vibe, yeah. I definitely wouldn't be able to hit those high notes either. I've tried to do some like humming harmony stuff. My voice doesn't get high enough to where I like it, to where it gets to the sound that I like. So I might have to find some presets or something to make my voice sound more ethereal. Crazy, I'm just not the most ethereal voiced guy. But I like to reuse this is what I was talking about where I reuse the loops shadow. So this first one, this is just a simple one that I haven't edited yet or anything, but I'll probably reuse the same pattern from the intro from this one to this one. You don't have to, but it's just what I do. And same thing with of course, I could be so naming these wrong. If I am naming anything wrong, feel free to let me know the correct way. That's definitely like a slower vibe. But I can select like this whole thing. Bring that over. I feel like there's not enough 808 time. So I like the 808. See, this is where usually I would go back into a break, but just because of the pace of the song, I think I'm gonna do it a different way, which is the other way I like to do my songs. Pretty much, I would just continue this pattern of the more upbeat. Ooh, don't do that yet. continue this part. And then probably go back down into the slower part like this. Sometimes I do stuff on different layers so I can kind of move everything around later. But when I select something, I'm just holding shift and moving it around with the keys. Well, easy. But yeah, now when it gets to the higher 808 part, I'll just kind of continue. That'll be like the more hard part of the song. And obviously there would be hi-hats here. Something happens and you kind of gotta figure out what you gotta do. So I could tell that it was highlighted, so I could tell it was in the channel rack. I just had it muted, which hence the gray color. Do your vocals to manipulate your voice in any way, like to deepen it or just rap naturally. Those are both great questions, Shadow and So, for you, Shadow, I do have different layers where I'll call it like my main layer, I guess. That one's kind of a more like normal. Like I'm not trying to deepen my voice or like really make my voice higher or anything. Just kind of singing it normal. And then the next layers, maybe I'll have 2 layers of a more like a higher pitch trying to sing, and then maybe the next 2 I'll have a lower pitch trying to sing, so it kind of will like harmonize with each other. But pretty much, yeah, that. And for Ibuwake, the lyrics, I think I probably start to do the lyrics after about this part, where I get a base layout of everything. If I really like the beat how it is, then I'll just move straight on to lyrics. I won't even like care enough to fine tune the hi-hats or the snare sounds or anything, because I'll just be that motivated to work on lyrics. But sometimes I just like to, sorry if you hear my dryer in the background, but a lot of times I also do like to kind of fine tune the song, and then it helps with the creation process as well with lyrics. But like this one, for example, and a lot of my other songs, usually I do some type of bass layout and then lyrics, unless, you know, I might hear the sample right away and like a melody will come to my head on top of it. I'll start writing in my notes and like try to incorporate maybe that melody in my guitar or something like that if I can. But yeah. So I personally don't mind having shorter songs. Like, because there are some songs, especially older songs, that go 3, 4, 5, 6 plus minutes, and they're, you know, really great. But I think it's probably because our generation, TikTok. I think that shorter brains and shorter songs, shorter songs and shorter, like things always do better. Sadly for our generation. Unless, you know, it's something that I'll probably come out with something that will be a longer song and a longer, like a drawn out album or something like that. But that's just because I think of it, you know. But if you guys like the longer songs, you know, let me know. I might try to make a longer song for you guys. But yeah, I'll probably do another part of maybe I could try duplicating this. Here at like a light, guitar strum in the background. And probably go something simple at the end. But yeah, basically that's how I would do the beat layout, and then I would start working on lyrics if I really wanted to. Like this one, I could see myself writing lyrics at like this stage. Yeah, 2-3 minutes length. Yeah. Ad-libs are a tough one. That's something I've been trying to get better at. But I feel like it really comes with the song. Like you'll hear it like in your head. You'll kind of hear the ad-lib, and then you can just kind of add it in. But that's kind of how it works for me. Yeah, now from here you can go in and customize the I know I am talking very silly, but that is just because I'm not used to got Shy laughing in the back. Yeah, I'll be writing. Yeah, there you go. I think that's the best way to do it. Amy, you're the one making her laugh, okay? Oh man, you're funny. So usually I loop the bar that I want to edit my hi-hat for, just to make it easier. These are 4-bar loops, so slim it down, and then see, I say I don't want to make it like a hard trap type beat, and then I go into a friggin' hi-hat roll at the start. But pretty much this should be the slower part. So I'm just gonna add something probably simpler like that. And then the thing I like to do is kind of randomize the sounds, because these are the velocity that the note's going to be hitting at, and if somebody's hitting a hi-hat, it's not going to be the same velocity every single time. So now kind of got a better feel with that. Leads up a little easier. And you can reuse it like how I'm reusing it in this, or you can create a whole new pattern. So I'll clone it, and I'll have 3. And another easy way to kind of make everything look different. Not change the name, but change the code. Hey Shadow, I feel you. I've made so many beats that I have not used. Like, it's just the process. I wish I should probably get better at maybe making a beat channel or something like that. Put it on if people want to use it. But I have a lot, probably hundreds of different beats that I made that I'm just not really fucking with. It's just the way it goes. But eventually you'll make something that really stick out to you and stuff like that. I say hundreds, like so many beats. Probably not that many. But vocals. So now with the different colors, you can kind of determine everything's like a little easier by eye. So now if I put this hi-hat 3 pattern in right here, I can tell, oh, yes, those are all different. With my vocals, I very much use colors to determine the different layers. And how I was saying, the main layers and I didn't say this, but the different, when I have my higher pitch vocal and my lower pitch vocal in my layers of my lyrics, I pan them according to like left and right for the different layers. And that's why I kind of changed the colors, because with different pans, the different colors really help. But just to change this one up a little bit, because it will be different from the first one. Snare roll or hi-hat roll in the front. Then the velocity up a little bit. Nothing crazy, but you know, just a little different. And by the time it gets to this one, you can maybe go crazy. But I'm not the biggest fan of using I guess for example, the snare rolls or the hi-hat rolls that like are really, really aggressive. Just for example. Like something that moves that fast, I'm not really, you know, I'm not gonna want that for a song that's 102 BPM. Definitely need to invest in better laptop for me. I don't Chromebook. Yeah, I can definitely say the better equipment you have, the easier it will be. Because when I started, I was on a 2013 MacBook, and it worked, but you know, to a point, and eventually it just got slower and slower the more complicated my songs got. And then I got a Apple computer, which don't recommend. Can't play any games on it, so I ended up buying PC parts and building my own PC. Yeah, see, Chai doesn't like Max either. I'm just kind of messing around, trying to see what I can do. That was that really high, fast snare roll that I didn't like. See, just kind of that always reminds me of like a stove when it's like you're trying to turn the burner on. It's like. Great, thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I made Two-Faced in that whole Sleepless album on that 2013 Mac. That totally worked for that, but you know, it's the more you do, the more you want to do. You want more options and more availability to do other things, I feel like. Yeah, that just sounds like a fucking burner. Yeah, I'll just do something simple from time to time. Do that. main part that's the reason I didn't really want to use that hi-hat roll is because I used it in this part, but now I can just take this out if I want and put it back to this part. So it's kind of a little refresher sound. Back when the face started popping, I had to release it as a single because it was going freaking crazy on TikTok. Good times. Trying to make another Two-Face Flap song. Hopefully we'll be able to do that soon for you guys. Oh, I just realized that whole bit with the 808 didn't put the kicks in there. So this is a different version of the song layout that I've been using now. It's the like a pre-chorus and then like a main chorus area, main chorus 1, chorus 2, and then the pre-chorus at the beginning. The singing chart. You think I should know these terms? But can't tell if I hear these guitar. Yeah, I can barely hear it. So I'll go to the mixer. Make sure. I was like, why are we hearing the beat? Because I haven't sent all the different instruments of the kick and all that to different mixer tracks. So it's just playing in the master. So just to solve that problem, take all these. Here's my snare, so I'll probably put that after my guitar. Let's go snare as number 4. Hi-hats is 5. Kicks we'll do 6, 7. No. And then 808 we go to 8. Alright. Now, when you press play, this should be the only sound playing. There we go. So, since this is a little bit of a background melody, probably try to make it sound just a little more ethereal and a little more high-pitched, I guess. So I'm going to add some reverb. But yeah, if there's any other like specific beat related questions or like even releasing music or anything like that, always feel free to ask. Sometimes I end up putting the EQ of the sound before I end up doing the cut, so I gotta go back and back up. Now the correct ones. Yeah. Some perfect lyrics. There you go. also, I don't think I showed this in the last stream, but if you wanted to say at the beginning of the song and at the end of the song, you want to fade in to the guitar, you can select the master for, or the mixer track for your guitar and right click and create automation clip. Now this blue line, I always like to keep it right next to whatever it's affecting. So insert a track, drag this up here. And now this line is determining the volume of that master track, so, or that mixer track. I always like to see what it's at. Interesting, it's in dB. Oh, minus negative 5.6 dB. So over here, I'll probably type in. So it ends up getting to the right volume that I like, because that is what the mixer was at when you created the automation clip. And then I'll drag this down a little bit. Honestly, I think I'm gonna drag this back. This is like an area where you can put, you know, whatever you want in there. You can put like a little intro of a vocal sample of like somebody talking. I always like doing random fancy stuff. Makes it a little more unique. Great to see what the merge is coming. Yeah, that was a good one. I'm really trying to see what new designs I'm gonna come up with. I'm thinking more just the same style of like hoodies, shirts, and everything, but just different graphic designs. So I might have to work with my artist that I know. And she'll have to help me make some new designs. Yes, Shadow, I think of that all the time. I hear a song, I'm like, well, that's genius. But also, you can use those to help inspire you to, next time in your song, you can maybe do something similar to it, or something like that. But yes, that has happened more times than I can count, where I hear a song, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's such a smart idea. They put this beat drop before this, or the vocal like cuts out, you know, certain things like that, definitely. So, I mean, this is a pretty vibe. A pretty good vibe. I think. Just make sure. Maybe drop the volume a little bit. I mean, that's pretty much, besides editing, you know, adding in stuff. I guess the 808s have to adjust those. I'm not done yet. mark, so I'm gonna make this an 8-bar loop. But at the end, I want to make sure at the end, over here, just snip that last little 808 off. Without it, it would kind of trail off a little better. Yeah. Feel free to ask, Shadow. But that sucks that you weren't able to get that guy's merch. So I honestly I hate when brands like a YouTuber will have a limited time drop for like merch or something that you can get, because then it's like, yes, only people that saw it can get it, but also there's a lot of people that see it that can't get it now. I don't know. I feel like everybody should be able to get it. So I hope the quality's a little better on the stream than last stream. I was looking at my output settings and it was at 720p, so that is not good. I want to make sure that was fixed. Someone said it was in 1440, but I'm looking over the stream and it says the max is 1080, so better than nothing. But I mean, this is a great beat, honestly, so I'm just gonna save this. Go in. Forgot to edit the snare. Almost done. Just a simple reverb. You never have to do 2 reverbs. It's probably redundant. I probably don't need to, but I do like having the double. I feel like it does have a little bit more of a different effect than just having one reverb. So you kind of hear that little bit of a reverb on there. Luckily the kicks, I don't really do too much to the kicks except add a compressor. Sometimes though, you can also turn down, kind of adjust how your compressor will affect your stuff. Hey, what's up, my hippie? I really think that dropping songs just depends on the person. If you can drop as many songs as you could drop a song a day. But for me, I think least, I try to do a song a month if I can. Because, at least 12 songs a year. That's more than enough, I feel like. But it's tough when you also have like an album or an EP or a project you want to work on in the background, and it kind of makes it harder to drop something consistently. So I'd say dropping consistent singles would help, but it's not like you can consistently maybe dropping an album yearly or something like that might help, but from personal experience it gets hard. Do it, at least for myself, because I do everything. I'm an independent artist, from promotion to everything. It's all me, so I think that you just kind of gotta find your own flow and whatever feels best for you. But consistency always does help, no matter what you're doing. Fuck yeah. Alright, so this beat's pretty much done. I feel like I'm gonna write to this later. So this would be Mr. Balake, if you're still in here, this would be the perfect time to where I would start writing. Like I would just have these headphones on, I would sit back and just kind of like have my speakers on and just write whatever I could. But to keep this going, let's see what project we were working on last week. Yeah, this one. God, this song's so relaxing. I don't like how complicated I made those. Still a little too much for the slow part of the song. Yeah, we'll just make a new one. So we also have, oh, that's the one we just did. Nope, that is the one we just did. It's tough when everything kind of looks the same. So for example, what I was talking about at the start of the stream. So see, I don't know if you can't see, but this is a zip file, compressed zip folder. So I can't take anything from here and drag it onto here. That'll happen, nothing will work. You have to extract it or just copy and paste it into your wherever. So it's not in a compressed file, and then you can drag and drop it. But this one's definitely experimental, alternative. Looks like this one's the master. I mean, sometimes keeping the master is useful, so you can, because I was purging all my clips before, and if I deleted it, it would kind of be gone. I would have to pull it back out of my files, but sometimes it is useful. Saying that, I delete it, but not going to use it this time, I don't think. More so, I feel like it's useful for, like at the start when I pulled out that one sample that had 17 stems, or something like that, it might be a little more useful. Actually, might as well just get an example. Just a couple. So this one had 17 different things. Alright, so it looks like... So this is a lot of lines. The best way for me when I come across things like this, put it in the BPM that it's supposed to be at, so 120, and just start dropping. So now, like these, I can put these, oh, not that. This is 8 bar. Luckily, a lot of things you can really just tell. I'm looking. Like, see, this one's like in the middle. So it's kind of like a tough one. Yeah. So I'm just trying to show you how I would go about dealing with something like this, because to me at the start of making music, this was definitely intimidating. But now it's a little less. So you can see now I'm trimming off all the tail ends of all the parts that I don't need anymore. It's already starting to look a little better, but go and delete that one. This is really helpful now that I do know the hotkeys, because when I first started making music, this was not this easy, because I would have to go up here, click something, go down here. But now it gets a little easier as the more you do it. Alright. So, looks like pretty much everything. This one, see how there's nothing in it? I always just give it a listen. Sometimes it's just a blank audio that gets in there. That many files, it's bound to happen. At least once. Alright. I'm just going to take out these initial guitar tracks because we're working on this one. Go over to my macros and purge unused audio. So now it's just this stem pack. For sure, Shadow, thanks for hopping in here. It's fun kicking with you. Maybe you'll be able to tap into the next stream. Hope you have a good rest of your day. I was trying to see if there was going to be a master for this, but it doesn't. It really doesn't look like there's a master, which is very surprising. So. Oops. Now we got this bass track up here. See, it already looks a lot better than when we started. Bye, Amy. Happy birthday. Thanks for stopping in. Sounds good. Later, Shadow. Alright. So, pretty much, now that you got your bass, everything kind of chopped up, you can go in. If you want, you can listen to things separately. You can kind of tell based off the waveforms, like this is a guitar, this is a guitar, More so, I mean like a constant strum rather than something like this one up here, which is more of like an accent, and like this one. So probably take this line as well. Man, there's a lot of really cool instruments used in here. See, a lot of these, sometimes up in the name it'll say what instrument it is and like what it's doing, but sometimes it doesn't. In this instance, it is not. So I'm just kind of have to go through and listen to stuff. Now everything's still separated, but kind of organized separated. Alright, so from here. So, also as well, you don't need, this is another thing, so now that everything is all soloed out and everything, you can kind of see this is obviously repeating for bar, like 1/8 bar or loop and 1/8 bar loop, 1/8 bar loop, 1/8 bar loop. So for something like that, you can most likely just kind of chop it, and then you can kind of have one, like you don't need to have like move everything around. So for this one, for example, sounds like a bass guitar. Looks like it loops every 8, so same thing with that one as well. So just for the sake of cleanliness, there's a lot of shit on the screen, I trim everything down. And same thing with this one as well. These look identical. Yeah. So this one, same thing. So it's funny how you can go from how we started to now everything's a lot more unified and simplified, chopped down. We also got now all the extras. So trying to think if the best way to go about it is to build the beat and then add these on. I think since these are like replicas, I'm just gonna it's funny the different hotkeys for different apps. So the hotkey for this app to redo and undo everything is Control Z and Control Alt Z, but for Adobe Premiere and all these different things, it's Control Shift. So Looks like that's the same. So we're gonna bring this one down. Same with this. It's kind of just the process of bringing everything over slowly. But once you kind of go back to the basics and have everything on one side, you can then build the song like a fun puzzle. The best puzzle to build, in my opinion. This one as well. This one. Surprisingly, it sounds really good. A lot of the times it doesn't. Alright. So now we're just gonna build a song. Give it a bass layer. Drag it out about 2.5 minutes-ish. Yes. So we got bass layer, synth layer, bass synth. No, it's a electric guitar. Okay. Another synth. Alright. So got guitar, synth. So bring these ones down. Alright. So I'm trying to really hear how it sounds, build it base by block by block, but it's just really slow for me, so I'll just save this one as a project 3. Stream project. I'll finish out building this to a good manner, so when I come back, I'm not like, what did I do? But pretty much, I'll probably have intro, pre-chorus, chorus. Actually, kind of just gotta build a song. This one will be different to the last one, where I'll have a break in the middle. I had the last one, it was a break to like chorus part and verses, and then to a break at the end, kind of. This one will be intro to chorus verse, then pre-chorus, break, and then back into chorus verse, and then after that, more pre-chorus. Yeah, so it kind of has like, it builds more of a like upbeat part, and then it like slows down a little bit, and then makes it so it actually kind of carries a more of a bop when like a beat drops or something like that. cool guitar lick at the end. And we've been streaming for an hour and 22 minutes. Wow. Time really flies when you're just having a good time. I think that's perfect, I guess. Yeah, so you kind of just, the great thing about making music is you just go with what feels the best. And I think, I was saying I'm going to have a break in the end. I think that this might sound better making it how the last beat was, where it like kind of builds and then only has the chorus and the verse in the middle and doesn't really break. Because I think this just has so many great parts. It really like harmonizes and then it kind of like smoothly falls apart. Or, yeah, just sounds good when it goes into the quiet. Another great thing about FL Studio is you can do this group with above track. And now this whole entire 17 track area I can make pretty much like shrink it down so it doesn't take up so much space. Ooh, one more. Alright. Now the whole thing only takes up quarter, if a tenth of the screen rather than the entire screen. Now from here you can, maybe I should just, no. I was like, I should use their base one, the stock stuff that comes with it. Just not the biggest fan. So, delete those. I'll just get a simple snare and hi-hat pattern. I always like to challenge myself and see if I can create the beat before the song comes back. This one I'll do 8 bar. So close. I couldn't remember what end of it was. Oh, because I thought it replayed, but it just is that. All right, cool. So now go to a little hi-hat roll, or a snare roll, and then do this. Now I got a vibe. same thing now. We'll split by channel. Just bring it over slowly. So now, pretty much would just be making a simple beat line where it goes in. This is where the verses will be. We'll have two verses, and then we'll come back out to a nice pre-chorus step. It goes from just kick. Yeah. Insert one. So this one really puts you to the challenge when you put everything to the mixer track, the master, everything, because you decide, do you want to have all of the guitar tracks go to one? Do you want the one main guitar track? Do you want to split them into different pans on the left and the right? Really, just you could do whatever you want. But I think this is a great place to stop and pick up next time. But if you guys enjoyed, make sure to follow and check out the VOD channel on YouTube. I'll make sure to have that link somewhere, and make sure you're following all the socials. We're gonna have some music coming out soon. I'm really excited to use that beat that we just made. Hopefully be able to fight to that and release a new single. And that'll be a single that you guys got to see me create. So, oh yeah, I will be streaming next week. I'll be streaming every week, Monday at 3 p.m. I'm gonna try to do hour and a half streams, but just make sure you're following my Instagram, Lil Sleep, and stay in touch. Well, I'll see you there, Miss Chiotic. I hope everyone has a great rest of their day, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Deuces.